Right now, we're getting you ready for what could be the first accumulating significant snowfall of the season. Plus, an update from Rock County where police are investigating what they're calling a fight turned deadly. News 3 Now at 10 starts right now. Now, the snow is battering parts of the state tonight. Check it out. This is video from up in Merrill, Wisconsin. And here in Dane County, it's rain for now, but things could be shifting overnight. Good evening and thanks for having us in. Depending on where you live in the viewing area, you could see several inches of snow or none at all over the next several hours. Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti has our certified most accurate forecast. Hey, Gary.
Well, Brady, it's a cold rain on the patio right now here in Madison. I think Dane County's not seeing much in the way of snow yet. But let's start out by taking a look at Doppler track. This storm has everything with it. We've had rain, even a few thunderstorms in southern Wisconsin, mainly snow north of the Dells, where several inches of accumulation has occurred. Farther to the south, a bad tornado outbreak has taken place across parts of the southern U.S. With tornadoes in Arkansas, Tennessee, and into Missouri. Doppler track right now shows mainly rain from Madison southward, but again, just north of Dane County, a transition to a mix and then eventually to snow with a little bit of a break right now. Visibilities, for the most part, are in the 1 to 3 mile range in the areas where it's snowing. Black River Falls right now at 3/4 of a mile in light to occasionally moderate snow. Temperatures in Madison have held nearly steady. We're at 36 right now, 35 in Lone Rock, but notice to the north, 31 in the Dells, 32 in Camp Douglas, so that's where they're seeing snow or even a mix. Those areas may see heavier snow. I moved the snowfall northward just a little bit, so south and east of Madison, probably less than an inch, 1 to 3 inches from northern Dane County northward, and then 3 to 6 inches around the Dells and northward, and there could be some ice accumulations as well. Winter weather advisories in effect until 9 a.m. for our northwestern viewers and until noon for areas north of Dane County. Wind chills right now, not much of a factor, but those winds will really pick up tomorrow. Everybody will change to snow by morning, and then that will come to an end with some sunshine in the afternoon. Tomorrow's high at 34. Later on, I'll take a look at a big warm-up for next week.
Thank you, Gary. As we mentioned, the northern and central parts of the state are getting hit hard right now. This is a live traffic camera west of Eau Claire. That's Interstate 94. You can see the snow-covered roads and blowing snow, the first major snowfall of the season. And getting a look at the Department of Transportation's 511 road condition map, you can see a lot of pink in the Madison area, and those are classified as slippery stretches. Blue is snow-covered, and then the red is ice-covered. When Madison gets snow, the city's street department says it's been ready since October. Once the snow starts sticking to the pavement, the department will send out 32 trucks to hit the main roads. Residential areas only get plowed if there's 3 or more inches of snow. Pre-treating the road with brine would keep the snow from sticking as much, but when it rains like it is with this storm, it doesn't really help. The first snowfall every year is accompanied by people seemingly relearning how slow to drive and how much salt to use. And regardless of how long you've lived here, as Christina Laurie found out, many continue to do both wrong.
The first snow of the season has us talking about 2 more S's.
We've continued to see crash rates and fatality rates on the road increase.
Slowing down.
A lot of that due to people that may have developed a bit of a lead foot, especially during the pandemic when roads have been a little less congested.
And salting up.
Salt is great for melting ice and keeping everybody safe, and that is very important.
But most people are still driving faster and using more salt than they think.
Something that I've heard is that if you have an average size coffee cup, this does roughly the average residential driveway.
The Clean Lakes Alliance says when it comes to salt, you want to avoid big clumps. Everything that we put on the sidewalks and streets drains to the sewers and lands in the lakes. So before you salt,
get all the snow off the driveway. It's not good to do snow and salt. It's going to make the salt ineffective. And then get as much ice up as you can too.
Once you've poured your salt and climb into your car.
Probably the biggest thing that I would recommend is to slow down.
Especially near intersections. The city of Madison released new crash data just this week showing a majority of crashes, 56%, happen at traffic lights. Although not all crashes happen during storm season.
It's actively snowing. It's hard to drive it even though our trucks are out.
Winter weather certainly doesn't make driving any easier. A good rule of thumb is to double your following distance from 3 to 6 seconds when it's snowing.
This time of year, wet roads can be slippery roads too, but you need to be careful out there.
Stay safe, Madison. 4 News 3 Now. I'm Christina Laurie.
And now is a great time to download our free Channel 3000 weather app. With the storm on the way and the potential for significant snowfall, I'll check it out. It's available now in your app store. An update to our breaking news last night at 10. Gun violence continues to spike in the Beloit area this year. This time, 5 people are hurt and 1 person is dead after a fight just got out of hand. This happened in the town of Beloit on Porter Avenue. Police are still there today, piecing together the scene, and will stay there for at least a day or 2 more. Everyone involved was between 17 and 23. No one is charged or arrested yet in connection to the shooting, and police say it will take a long time to figure out exactly what went down.
This is obviously a very complex and extensive investigation that is going to take several days, if not weeks, to complete. We do have one of the people in custody for other charges not related to this incident.
Well, police are stressing if you know what happened or know anything about why it happened, they're asking you to contact the Rock County Sheriff's Department. A house fire in Sun Prairie today caused more than $350,000 in damage. The fire department says it started in the attic of this house on Kelvington Drive. 4 people were inside the home at the time of the fire, but they made it out safely. The cause of the fire is still under investigation. New tonight, the Madison Police Department is asking for help identifying this man. They believe he's responsible for spray painting a number of buildings in the State Street area, dating back to at least last month. Police are asking anyone with information to call them or Madison area Crime Stoppers. Around the state, police in Milwaukee are investigating how a couple of buses collided this morning, ending with one of them crashing into a building. A school bus and county transit bus collided this morning at about 6. That caused the school bus to crash into the side of a public library building. The Milwaukee County Transit System says the MCTS bus driver and 5 passengers were taken to the hospital to be checked out. UW system leaders are signing off on tuition increases for out-of-state undergraduates and graduate students at 7 campuses today. The Board of Regents gave final approval to the plan this afternoon. The increase will affect UW-Madison, Eau Claire, Oshkosh, Platteville, River Falls, Stout, and Whitewater. The Regents today will also allow incoming freshman applicants to forego sending in their ACT and SAT test scores for another 2 years. Colleges across the country have suspended score submission requirements as the pandemic continues. First Lady Dr. Jill Biden is planning a trip to Wisconsin next week. According to the White House, she will be visiting Milwaukee and Waukesha on Wednesday with the second gentleman, Douglas Emhoff. No additional information about the visit has been released. A judge is delaying any further action in a lawsuit seeking to force the mayors of Madison and Green Bay to face jail or sit for depositions with Michael Gableman. They're scheduled to meet again January 21st. Gableman was hired by Republican Assembly Speaker Robin Vos to investigate the 2020 election. Mayor Satya Rhodes Conway has repeatedly said she would provide testimony publicly, but not behind closed doors, as Gableman wants. Cleanup efforts are continuing tonight after an estimated 400 gallons of oil spilled into the Menominee River in Milwaukee. The company that makes heavy-duty industrial equipment says it's due to a, quote, oil transfer error at its facility, the company's on-site storm sewer drains in the Menominee River. According to the Wisconsin DNR, the spill began on December 3rd, and the agency, as well as the EPA, was notified by Komatsu on December 4th.
It's really disheartening. You know, we've, as our organization and many other, community partners have worked really hard for decades to clean up the river. And so it's always sad to see something like this happen. I mean, clearly it was an accident, but, we are concerned about the impacts of this on water quality and aquatic life and birds as well.
In a statement, the company says it sincerely regrets the accident and apologizes to the community. It adds that it's devoting necessary resources to resolve the situation as quickly as possible. Experts say it's unlikely to affect drinking water sources in Lake Michigan because of how the city takes in that water, but it is something that should be monitored. A day after federal officials authorized Pfizer's COVID-19 booster shots for 16 and 17-year-olds, Wisconsin's Department of Health Services cleared the way for local vaccinators to administer the shots. As of today, only Pfizer's booster dose has been approved for 16 and 17-year-olds. Anyone looking to schedule a vaccination appointment can use the DHS online vaccine appointment tool. The CDC says most Omicron cases in the U.S. are among people who are fully vaccinated. They say Omicron infections are now confirmed in 25 states. Among 43 cases, the agency says one person was hospitalized.
Most people experienced only mild symptoms, which is what we would expect from a group of fully vaccinated individuals.
Federal health officials say more data is needed before drawing conclusions about the variant's transmissibility or severity. In most cases, the patients did not receive a booster shot, and 6 were reinfections. Grammy Award-winning singer and guitarist Michael Nesmith of the 60s pop group The Monkees died today at the age of 78. His manager said Nesmith died of heart failure at his home in California. The Monkees were originally assembled for a TV show of the same name in an effort to grab cash and the global phenomenon known as the Beatles. The series aired from 1966 to 1968. Legendary race car driver Al Unser Sr. has also died. The Indianapolis Motor Speedway says he had been battling cancer for the past 17 years. Unser was one of only 4 racers to ever win the Indy 500 4 times. He also set the record for the most laps led in the Indy 500. Unser is survived by his wife Susan and his son Al Unser Jr. He was 82 years old. And in sports news, police say former NFL wide receiver Demaryius Thomas was found dead at his home in Roswell, Georgia. He was just 33 years old and would have turned 34 on Christmas Day. Police say, according to preliminary information, his death stemmed from a medical issue. Thomas played 10 seasons in the NFL and is considered one of the best wide receivers in Denver Broncos history. Former Senator Bob Dole was remembered as a father, hero, and statesman today during a funeral service at the Washington National Cathedral. One of the Senate's longest-serving Republican leaders died Sunday at the age of 98. Christina Raffini reports from Washington.
The solemn funeral service for the late Senator Bob Dole included music and touching stories from colleagues who knew him best.
He never lost his sense of humor. He never lost his sense of integrity.
Former Kansas Senator Pat Roberts praised his mentor for never forgetting his roots.
A Kansas star who truly shines through difficulty.
President Biden spoke about Dole's ability to reach across the aisle and get things done.
He wanted government to work for folks like him, who came up the hard way.
Dole's daughter, Robin, remembered her father as a dog lover and someone who always tried to do more for others.
He set a personal goal to help at least one person every day of his life.
She read from the farewell letter he wrote before his death.
I believe in the future of the United States of America. I love you, Dad, and I promise you will never walk alone.
The wounded Army veteran was also honored at the National World War II Memorial that he helped create.
He made the phone calls, he enlisted allies, all of us in the cause, and he raised the money. He did all but mix the concrete himself.
This weekend, Dole's home state will pay tribute to his life of public service. Christina Raffini, CBS News, Washington.
And the late Senator Dole will be buried at Arlington National Cemetery. Well, still to come tonight, we'll check back in with Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti. He'll have his latest forecast up next.
This year, don't just get ready, get holiday ready. And the only place to start is at your local Ford dealer. Get the Ford SUV that's perfect for your family's holiday traditions. Ford Explorer, Escape, or Bronco Sport with our best offers of the season. Inventory is arriving daily, so see your Ford dealer today and get holiday ready. Now get a Ford Explorer with 0% financing for 60 months plus $500 bonus cash. Only at your local Ford dealer.
Belly pooch, muffin top, back fat. Sound familiar?
Stubborn fat is not your fault. We can help you here at Sanabello by permanently removing that stubborn body fat.
It's not just about inches lost, it's about changing people's lives and giving them the confidence they deserve to have.
Sono Bello is America's #1 cosmetic surgery specialist with board-certified surgeons who are dedicated to transforming lives with permanent fat removal in just one visit.
We're the leading experts because we are passionate about what we do. Wherever there's excess fat, we can remove it.
At Sono Bello, we're here to help you reach your goals so that you can live your life to the fullest.
Schedule your free, no-obligation consultation now and find out how you can get $250 off instantly. Call 1-888-740-3917 or go to sonobello.com.
USAA is made for the safe pilots, like Matt, who can come to a stop with barely a bobble. With USAA Safe Pilot, when you drive safe, you can save up to 30% on your auto insurance. USAA, what you're made of, we're made for. Get a quote today.
4 Super Bowls, 6 AFC championships. You?
Award-winning customer service, up to 30% off your auto insurance with Safe Pilot, made for the military community.
And who else?
That's all. USAA, only for the military community.
Whether you have a design emergency or you just want to shop the best furniture showroom in town, you need Dwellings, Madison's best kept secret for design and furniture. Shop our fabulous showroom, Hard Rock Road, Fitchburg.
News 3 Now's Call for Action has settled hundreds of area consumer disputes, but we can't do it without our dedicated team of volunteers. Would you like to join us? Contact Call for Action by phone or visit channel3000.com to fill out an application now.
Well, the cost of living continues to rise. A new report reveals the rate of inflation hit a nearly 40-year high, and it's happening as millions of Americans are shopping for Christmas gifts. New government data shows U.S. consumer prices soared in November, up 6.8% in the past year, the biggest jump since 1982. And it's not just gifts. Rising prices are also affecting everyday items. At the grocery store, beef and bacon are up more than 20%. Gas has skyrocketed 58%, the largest 12-month increase since 1980.
If you think that this is going to be behind us in the next couple of months, it's not. We are going to see higher prices, probably well into next year.
Now take the auto industry, for example. Fewer new cars are being built because of a microchip shortage. That's increased demand and, well, prices for used cars, which are up more than 31% in the past year. The supply chain issues are apparently not affecting how much product is being shipped into the U.S. That's according to a new Global Port Tracker report. It found the U.S. is on track to break records despite disruptions to the supply chain. According to the report, this year will have more than 18% more volume than in 2020. At the Port of New Orleans, they're getting more than $100 million of new infrastructure that will expand capacity. The hope is that the arrival of 4 new cranes will help ease some of the problems moving forward. 2 of the cranes should be installed by spring, with all 4 operating by the end of the year. Well, weather-wise, it seems like snow and rain have been the words of the day, Gary.
It certainly is. But, you know, it could be a lot worse. I'm just looking at the severe weather that's ongoing through much of the central and southern part of the United States. Tornado warnings are in effect as far north as northwestern Indiana. All these red boxes are current tornado warnings, severe thunderstorm warnings for possible tornadoes. And then we have tornado emergencies for perhaps catastrophic tornado damage. There's already been a nursing home in Monette, Arkansas, that was hit by a tornado with at least 2 fatalities. And you can see several squall lines of thunderstorms sweeping ahead of a cold front to the south and east. Look at all the tornado reports from Arkansas into Missouri and into Kentucky and Tennessee. Also tornado reports in the St. Louis area into central Illinois. The National Weather Service office in St. Louis actually had to transfer warning responsibility to another National Weather Service office because they had to take cover themselves. So our rain and snow right now, I mean, it's, you know, yucky. You don't want to have to deal with it, but it certainly could be a lot worse than what's going on down to the south. Right now, mainly rain in the Madison area, but that rain-snow line just to our north and west, it stayed pretty much in the same position all night. Now, we've got a little bit of a break here as the jet stream kind of comes right overhead and dries the air out, but eventually this back part of the snow will sweep around, and just about everybody will see snow overnight into early tomorrow morning. When that changeover takes place and how long it takes place, that will determine how much snow we end up getting. Right now, visibilities in the areas that are getting the snow, the lowest visibilities are into central Wisconsin, where the snow has been falling at a moderate to heavy clip. But as we take a look at the snowfall forecast, we've moved this up just a little bit to the north. Right now it looks like about 3 to 6 inches north of the Dells, the 6 to 9 inch amounts just north of our viewing area into central Wisconsin, maybe some 9 to 12 inch amounts over toward Rhinelander. South and east of Madison, probably not much in the way of accumulation, maybe just a little light dusting tomorrow morning. Madison might see an inch or two again, depending on how long that snow lasts when we make the transition. Still the potential for some freezing rain, some minor ice accumulations that will also add to the slipperiness of the roads. Winter weather advisories in effect north of Dane County through tomorrow morning. Winter storm warnings continue through much of central and northeastern Wisconsin. Also wind advisories to our south across parts of northern Illinois into Michigan. High wind warnings into eastern Michigan. This storm has just a little bit of everything associated with it. And as we take a look at future track, watch this rain snow line. Eventually it starts to pivot to the east. Notice by early tomorrow morning, everybody's receiving snow, but we'll probably only see maybe a 2 to 3 hour period at most where we see the potential for accumulating snow. And then this back edge of snow races off to the east, and by Saturday afternoon, we're back to sunny skies. High temperatures today in the 70s across parts of the southern portion of the Midwest, while we've been in the 30s. That shows the tremendous temperature contrast that's fueling the storm. Again, winter weather advisories north of Dane County through noon tomorrow. Look for showers changing to snow by morning with a low of 30. Then the snow in the morning will give way to some sunshine in the afternoon with a high of 34. Very windy tomorrow as well. Notice how we have a little bit of a break overnight. Then the snow moves in late tonight into early tomorrow morning and then sweeps out. And by Saturday afternoon, we're back to sunshine. Snowfall amounts 1 to 3 inches north and east of, or north and west of Madison. Heavier amounts up toward the Dells with perhaps a little bit of ice accumulation. Then we have a big warm-up. We'll melt all the snow by the middle of next week with record high temperatures around 60 on Wednesday, and then we cool back off to near normal temperatures and maybe some snow toward the end of next weekend.
And coming up in sports, the Badger men's hockey team finally found the back of the net. How a big first period got them their first win in over a month. That's next on News 3 Now.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
This might look like a cliffhanger.
But this is the Nissan sales event ad.
Get 0% financing for up to 72 months on 14 models.
Better bring that home for the holidays.
Those brave men and women of our armed forces, generations of them. Why should today's burdens fall back onto them? They were there for us. Now let's be there for them. Your local Wisconsin energy providers and the Keep Wisconsin Warm Cool Fund are working together to deliver Wisconsin veterans in crisis heat, power, and help staying in their home. But they can't do it alone. Call to donate today.
Here's a secret worth sharing. Robertson, Wisconsin's aesthetic leader, wants you to experience Botox with the best. Take $50 off your first Botox visit and discover why it's the #1 non-surgical treatment in the nation. It's time to learn how Botox is different at Robertson.
Are you okay? Oh, it's just a cold.
If you have high blood pressure, a cold is not just a cold. Unlike other cold medicines, Coracetin provides powerful cold relief without raising your blood pressure. Be there for life's best moments with Coracetin, now in sugar-free liquid.
My mom was a bank teller, but her hands were so crippled by arthritis she could no longer do her job. She applied for Social Security disability benefits. Like most people, my mom was denied. I'm attorney Don Becker. Don't be embarrassed and don't give up. My mom appealed. You can too. Disability law is all we do.
Call the Becker Law Office, 608-640-3868.
Isn't it great how swinging through Culver's drive-thru marks the unofficial start to family time? How biting into a hot-off-the-grill Butterburger makes worries melt away? And how a fresh frozen custard concrete mixer puts a smile on your face every time? Here, a meal you didn't have to make is a meal made fresh for you. And being greeted with a smile, even beneath a mask, makes all the difference.
There's a reason we put so much care into our food. That reason is you. Welcome to Delicious.
On my travels across the country, I came across this house with water dripping from the ceiling. You never know when something like this will happen. So let the Geico Insurance Agency help you with homeowners insurance. and protect yourself from things like fire, theft, or in this case, water damage. Now, if I had to guess, I'd say somewhere upstairs there's a broken pipe.
Geico. Save even more when you bundle home and car insurance at geico.com.
This might look like a cliffhanger.
But this is the Nissan sales event ad.
Save up to $42.62 on select models.
Better bring that home for the holidays.
The first time the Wisconsin women skated against Bemidji State this season, they pelted the Beaver goalie with 56 shots, and not one went in. The game ended in a tie, and that didn't sit well with the Badgers. So all week long, they were talking about starting this series off strong, and they spoke it into existence. First period was a good one for the Badgers. McKenna Webster dangles and then goes 5-hole to put Wisconsin on the board. Then not even 5 minutes later, Darryl Watts rips a shot into the back of the net. Badgers scored 4 goals in the first and go on to win 5-1 the final. Wisconsin men's hockey hosting Penn State tonight, and that was just what the doctor ordered for this team. First period, Sam Stang finds Tarek Baker, and he finds the back of the net to give the Badgers their first lead in a game since November 12th. And you know what? They wouldn't lose it tonight. Later in the period, they're on the power play, and Matty D. St. Paul lights the lamp. Badgers get their first win since November 5th, 4-1 the final. Saturday's round 3 between the Badgers and the Gophers on the volleyball court, and the first 2 went Wisconsin's way by a sweep at the Fieldhouse and then a 5-set thriller in Minneapolis. But there's a lot more on the line tomorrow. Win, and UW is headed to the Final Four for the 3rd straight season. Now, it's hard to beat a team 3 times in a year, and the Badgers are expecting a 12-round fight with the Gophers.
I'm expecting a game that goes to 5 extra points every set, because that's just the kind of team that they are, and it's going to be a battle, but it's going to be a really fun one, so I'm looking forward to it.
Both teams have had great seasons. Both teams have thoroughbreds on their rosters, and it should just be incredibly entertaining, and we're looking forward to it.
Bucks in Houston taking on the Rockets. Bobby Portis had himself a nice little night. 4th quarter, Deer up 1. Portis makes it a 4-point game with a 3-ball. Bobby finished with 21. And then under a minute to go, Milwaukee would put an exclamation point on the win. Holiday with the steal, and then the alley-oop to Giannis, who slams it home. He finished with 41 points. Bucks win 123-114. Big 8 boys basketball, Madison La Follette hosting Madison Memorial. Now, it took a while for the Spartans to get going, but once they did, they didn't miss much. Braylon Blue splashes home the triple. Memorial led by as many as 8 in the first half. Blue finished with 15, but then Armand Lewis decided to take over the game. First, he stops and pops for 2, part of a 9-point run of his own. And then with 4 seconds before halftime, Lewis beats the buzzer. He dropped 21 on the Spartans, and La Follette drops Memorial 58-48. We're back after this.
When you're the victim of an accident, it can feel like the weight of the entire world is on your shoulders. Why not let us take that crippling burden off your back? Habish, Habish, and Rotier. We fight for what's right.
F-150 and an available Pro Power onboard generator, you're not just ready, you're holiday ready. Get a Ford F-150 with 0 for 60 and 500 retail bonus cash, plus complimentary maintenance when you sign up for Ford Pass Rewards. See your Ford dealer today.
Celebrate.
Doubly important this year, so make your celebrations doubly special with our award-winning cave-aged Maurice cheese. Pick and save. Hey, Hey, you're right. We can't stop now. Let's take the special up a level with fresh, never frozen prime beef. Still not special enough? Add some surf to that turf with our sustainably caught seafood. Turn your taste buds up to 11 and have a doubly special holiday with Pick and Save, fresh for everyone.
We protect more than the car you drive. We protect the dreams that drive you. The It's Not Where We Visit, but Who We Visit policy from American Family Insurance.
End of the road trip.
Protect yourself on the road with a travel peace of mind package, included when you enroll in the Know Your Drive program. Get a quote or find an agent at amfam.com.
I was a Navy submariner for over 20 years. I spent a large portion of my life underwater. Service is about putting your country before yourself. But Senator Ron Johnson uses his office to serve himself. Ron Johnson passed a special tax break that benefited his family's business, then cashed out of the company for $5 million. Ron Johnson has doubled his wealth since he's been elected. That's not what service is about. Tell Ron Johnson to stop voting for tax laws that benefit himself.
A nursing home promises to care for our parents as cherished loved ones. But if your parents have been injured in a nursing home, we can help. Habish, and Rotier. We fight for what's right.
Trust the First Warn Weather Team for your most accurate forecast.
Well, tomorrow may be a good day just to stay in if you can and wrap Christmas gifts or something.
Yeah, by afternoon we'll be clearing out, but tomorrow morning will probably still be somewhat snowy. You can see the rain through the Madison area, the rain snow line just to our north and west, and visibilities right now, a little bit of fog even down by Monroe in the rain there, but eventually that will change over to all snow. Still mid-30s here in Madison, just warm enough for rain, but the freezing line up toward the Dells, that's where it's changing over to snow. Heaviest snow totals probably north and west of the Dells. Could be a little bit of light ice accumulation and winter weather advisories north of Dane County through tomorrow morning.
Oof, good luck, everyone. I'll be thinking about you.
Yeah, right.
All right, thanks, everyone. Have a great evening.